guys, Chris Chavez here with Chavez Creative Company. Hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful day. So today's topic is really important. So the reason why this topic became something on my mind is I've worked with a lot of clients that have had such amazing idea for their video marketing for their businesses, right? They have just these unbelievable, crazy, great ideas of shots and purposes and story and call to actions, but they just don't know how to wrangle it in and actually structure them and organize them in the way where they know what each video is about and the purpose of them. That's what this video is about, guys. It's about organization and planning when it comes to your video marketing content. It's you know, if you are a new business or a business that's been maybe a year or 2 years old, when you're trying to figure things out, it gets really complex because sometimes there's too many cooks in the kitchen, or sometimes there's too many ideas in the kitchen or ingredients in the kitchen and you don't know what to make with those ingredients. And that's what we're gonna do today. The purpose of this is we're gonna do an organization cheat sheet, an organization little planning book, if you will, that's going to help guide you going down the line for each project. Now, the way that this is gonna work, we're only gonna focus on 4 projects at a time. The reason why we're only going to do 4 is because you need to make sure that each project is clearly organized and defined so you know going into filming day what exactly that project is for. And before we dive into this, guys, you know what's next. If this is your first time visiting my channel, greatly appreciate it if you hit that like, subscribe, notification bell so you could be notified of all things as I create them. And of course, I'm drinking coffee again. I mean, what would you expect? Water? As I mentioned, we're only gonna work and focus on 4 video projects. So I want you to bracket this off, right, into 4 columns, 4 distinct columns. At the top of the column, I want you to write the title of each video project. If you don't know what the title is right now, don't worry about it. Just say video 1, video 2, video 3, video 4. Whatever is easy for you. You can always go back and write in a title. So start with that. So there are a series of questions we are going to write in each column. It's the same question in each column, but it's going to help define each project so that each project has its own life, its own gumption, its own soul, if you will. That couldn't think of any other analogy. So the questions we're gonna ask are the need/purpose, target audience, the length of the video, and last but not least, what social media platform needs to be included within these projects. So let's break this down. I wanna explain why these questions are necessary for this planning schedule. And yet again, like I said, this is a very easy, very simplistic thing. It's just stripping down the actual questions that are going to define each project. Okay, so the need/purpose. It's kind of self-explanatory at this point. What is the need of this video? What's the purpose of it? What do you hope to gain from this video? So for example, if this is an introduction video, you know what the purpose of it is. It's to get yourself for the first time in front of your target audience, in front of the people that are going to pay for your roof. You know what I mean? So you're going to write under the need/purpose, introduction video to get my brand exposure and to introduce myself into the market. And next with target audience, it's the same thing. Okay, so we know what the need is. So now it's who is the audience? Who are we trying to connect to? Who is the target audience for this type of content? So yet again, if you are let's say a car dealership that sells really exotic cars, then you know your target audience is going to be someone of a higher income bracket. That's your target audience. So you're going to write that under your audience, who they are and why you are trying to reach out to them specifically. So next is length, and it's a really important thing because you want to make sure your video isn't too long where you're going to just dump so much data and just information on your audience that they are going to lose interest because there's no personality, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. You don't want that. So you know what the need is, you know what the purpose is, you know what the target audience is. So in that case, if it's an introduction video for a really wealthy target audience, then you know your length of your video is going to be a little bit shorter, a minute or maybe less, because you just want to dip your toes into the water and say, hey, I'm here. If you want to learn more, you know where to find me. And then last but not least, platform. So the social media platform. So if this is an introduction video, it's going to go on your landing page on your website, but you also want to include it into Instagrams, YouTube, whatever platform you choose to use, but you have to kind of define what platform would best fit this project. So if it is an introduction video going over the same example, you're going to want to splatter that on every social media account that you have. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, heck, even TikTok. So you want to put it everywhere because, yet again, the purpose of it is to gain exposure, is to let your audience and future clients know that I'm here, this is what our offer, let's go. So find the platform that best fits the purpose and the need for that video. And that's it, guys. I mean, the questions that we answered, they may seem really small, but they pack a big punch. They really define why these projects need to be created and just their own identity. Do that for every project. Keep this little list, this template, if you will, create it on, like I said, a piece of paper, your whiteboard, whatever software you use, write it down. This is a perfect template. So, but there's another step that we didn't talk about. So you know why the need and all that stuff for your projects, right? Well, what about planning and scheduling, the things after the fact? What do you do with that? Yet again, we're going to do the exact same thing. Keep the same template going. Bracket off 4 columns, the project title on the top, but this time we're going to answer a couple of different questions. So first one is planning. So in planning, you're going to type in talent. What I mean by that is, does your project needs to have in-house talent, or are you going to outsource it to actually hire actors? It's an important thing. It'll come down to that. So talent is the first thing you can answer. Second is locations. Where is the location for those projects? Is it going to be in your office? Is it going to be at downtown somewhere? Is it going to be in a WeWork? Where is it? It's very important. You need to know where you're going to shoot, guys. And also within locations, make sure to do date, time. Also very important, because if you do have talent, they need to know where they're going, what time they're going to be there, and what day, right? And if it's not, it doesn't matter. You also need to have that included so that your team knows, oh, okay, so Mike is going to be out of the office because he is filming at the downtown city hall at 4 o'clock on Wednesday. Got it. This is great. Everyone's on the same page. And then the biggest one is budget. You need to write budget. How much is that project going to cost? That singular project, not all of them, that singular project. Yet again, we're making sure each project's identity is there. And this is a big deal. If it's a massive project, if it's a festival you're putting on, you know, if you need more videographers than the team that you have, you're gonna have to, figure out a budget so that you can hire additional videographers or photographers. Make sense? The next one's a big one, deadline. If your in-house marketing team is editing this project, there needs to be a deadline. We need this video completed by this date so that we can share it and post it within this date. You need to have a deadline. Deadlines are vastly important. If you don't have a deadline or thought about a deadline, you need to. And that is it. I know it sounds like a lot, but if you think about the questions that you answered, it's really simple. That's what it should be. Clear, simple, organized. And if you follow this template, if a new team member comes in that's joining your marketing team and they're like, okay, so what are we doing for this week? You have this already out, right? If it's a whiteboard, you have it already there. And it's so easy to read and clear to understand. Obviously, you can organize it in a way that makes sense to you, but as long as you're answering those questions, there is going to be zero issues when it comes to the day of filming. Obviously, there are small additional things of like, equipment and all that stuff, but that's beside the point. It's all about organization, and this little template will definitely help. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really hope that this helped organize your marketing just structure, right? To help with each individual project so that they have their own identity. And remember, last thing I want to say, remember, slow down, be clear, be organized, and have fun with creating these things. Because what you create in the planning aspect is going to relieve so much stress off of the people that are actually filming, because then you could just dive into the content and have fun with camera angles and trying to read a line differently and lighting and all that fun stuff. So just slow down, have fun, and create the content that I know you can create. Until next time, guys, see you later.